Imagine writing one of the most terrifying books ever published while isolated on a freezing island, coughing blood, and knowing you might not live to finish it. That's exactly how George Orwell wrote 1984. In the late 1940s, Orwell disappeared to a remote island in Scotland called Jura. No electricity, almost no neighbors, cold winds, rough seas, a place so isolated it felt cut off from civilization itself. He lived in a farmhouse called Barnhill, a place that looked less like a writer's retreat and more like the setting of a dystopian nightmare. But Orwell wasn't there for peace. He was dying.
Orwell had severe tuberculosis. He was weak, exhausted, often feverish. Some days he could barely stand. And still, he kept writing. Friends later said he worked obsessively, typing for hours in bed, surrounded by ashtrays and piles of paper covered in corrections. He believed this book mattered more than anything else he had ever written, maybe more than his own survival. The world Orwell had just lived through terrified him. Fascism, Stalinism, mass propaganda, governments rewriting truth, entire populations manipulated through fear. Orwell started asking a horrifying question. What if a government could control not just what you do, but what you think is real? Enter Big Brother. In 1984, the world is ruled by a totalitarian regime led by Big Brother. Citizens are watched constantly. History is rewritten daily. Language itself is altered to make rebellious thoughts impossible. Even love becomes dangerous. The main character, Winston Smith, works for the government rewriting old newspaper articles, so the party is always right. Truth doesn't matter anymore. Only power does.
Orwell's most chilling idea wasn't surveillance. It was something called doublethink. The ability to accept two contradictory ideas at the same time because the government tells you to. War is peace. Freedom is slavery. Ignorance is strength. Orwell feared that if language and truth collapsed, people would eventually lose the ability to resist tyranny at all. While writing the novel, Orwell nearly died in a boating accident near Jura. He was thrown into dangerous waters after his boat hit a submerged rock. But even after that, he went back to the manuscript. By the end, friends said he looked consumed by the book itself, like he was burning the last of his life to finish it. He completed the manuscript in 1948. That's why the title became 1984, simply 1948 reversed. The book became one of the most influential novels ever written, but Orwell barely lived to see it. He died in 1950, at just 46 years old. And decades later, people still use words he invented. Big Brother, thought crime, newspeak. Because Orwell's warning never really stopped feeling relevant. Who controls the past controls the future. Who controls the present controls the past. If you want to see more tales of crimes, subscribe and hit the like button so you don't lose the next videos. Peace out.